In the Congo right now, there is a lot of tragedies happening, and in Israel and Palestine, that war is superseding, and Ukraine is in shambles, and Russia is talking about nuclear war talk. It's a lot of stuff going on right now, and I feel like I know too much. I feel like I care too much. And recently, I was hanging out with my friend, and he doesn't know anything. He doesn't care about anything going on in the world. As a matter of fact, I asked him about gender politics. He said, "I don't care about none of that. Doesn't affect me." I said, "Okay, how do you feel about?" I don't know. How do you feel about the president? He said, not going to affect me for real. He's just the president. The real powers that be are the mayors and the people around here. And I don't even pay attention to that politics. I just go to the city council meetings to complain a little bit. I said, okay. Well, do you care about anything? He says, I care about my mom's, making sure she's good. Care about my dad, making sure he's good. He just got into a car crash, so that was really bad. And my son, he's a cool little dude, making sure he's good in school. He getting a little bad influences because people in school, I can't control that, but I'm concerned about that. And I don't have any of those concerns realistically because my mother is fine. My dad has prostate cancer, but he's doing outstanding. And by all means, I don't have any children because I had a vasectomy when I was much younger. So I don't really care about that aspect. I don't want to be a dad in any capacity. I'm fine. I have a cat and I'm very excited about that. And I have a wife that I take care of. But I feel like I'm just too informed. I feel like I know too much about the world. Every time I learn about something, it's making me feel tragic and makes me shudder back into a cave. I care about, oh, maybe I should tip. Maybe I should make sure this person goes ahead of me in traffic. I make sure that I do my laundry. If I didn't do my laundry, I feel like a piece of garbage. I gotta make sure my teeth are clean. I gotta make sure I have dental insurance. Oh, I didn't schedule my doctor appointment. I feel like I'm too into life or too informed. I feel like I care too much about things that are so big that I can't possibly affect, that I have taken a back seat in my own life. I've taken such a backseat in my own life that I am so concerned about people who I would never meet in my entire days, and it's stressing me out to such a high degree that I feel like I'm shaking and shivering inside of my bedroom every time, despite the fact that the temperature is reasonable and the water's at room temperature and everybody else is telling me that it's great. But I feel like, why am I shivering? Why am I so concerned about being good or great or fantastic and making sure everybody else around me? I'm so anxious all the time about these things, and I had to take a breather, and nothing stops the anxiety. It makes me not able to eat, and I feel like garbage because I didn't eat. I didn't shower correctly because the depression is setting me in. And guess what? I can't take a shower right now because my dishes are messed up and the smell messes me up. And I feel like if I take a shower, I'm going to feel like garbage. And I don't want to get wet right now because I'm going to get cold when I get out of the shower. When I'm in the shower, I feel great. Oh, it's so much happening right now. Why do I care so much? Why? Being informed kind of sucks. It's not good. It doesn't feel great to know so much. It doesn't feel great to know that my throat is tickling right now and I'm about to cough in a few seconds. Observe. It didn't feel great to do that either. It didn't feel great to be here. It doesn't feel great to be alive. You know so much, right? I'm pretty sure you're informed about the horrifying aspects of the tariffs, and maybe you know the Democrats are lying, or maybe you know that it's all propaganda and I would never get fixed by propaganda. Maybe you know that your favorite streamer makes $1 million a day and you're confused why he's making that much despite the fact that he just sits there and reacts to videos. Maybe all this information is dragging you down because you have to still clock into your 9 to 5, and it feels horrifying to do so because your boss is actively going to fire you soon because you've been late so many times and you're waiting for your next paycheck, but you don't know how you're going to make rent next month because you don't know what's going on in the aspects of your life because you've been budgeting incorrectly. And since you've been budgeting incorrectly, your credit card debt is going up indefinitely, and now you're stressing out about that, and you can't feed your cat, you can't feed your dog, you can't feed your animals because you don't have enough money to barely feed yourself, but you want to make sure you feel like a good person, and your plants are dying. And why are your plants dying? Who knows? You're living paycheck to paycheck and you're trying to save money, but you can't save money because you go out every weekend, but you're not even going out. You're just buying that new skin. You're buying that battle pass because the only form of recreation you have is the recreation you have by playing video games, and the only friends you have are online on Discord, and they make you feel like a person, so you get drunk with them on the weekends and you feel good, and you're spending too much money on DoorDash because you can't do that, and you're on disability right now, but the disability didn't kick in, but you're too disabled to work, but you're not destroyed disabled, so you don't get the true disability, and now you feel like garbage, and you're too informed, and you're worried about gender politics and trans rights, and you're worried about they're going to take our jobs, the immigrants are going to destroy us. You're feeling like everything is arguing all the time, and nobody wants to actually get something done. You just want to complain about everything, and that is so draining all the time. Everyone just wants to complain. No one wants to get anything done, and that is what it's like being informed. knowing so much information. I envy people back in the day that didn't have the internet, where they didn't know about the entire world. They had to wait on the newspaper where people could read, probably solve Sudoku puzzles and read the funnies on the paper, but they just worked. And maybe they spent time with their families, and at dinner tables they talked about their day and they had things to talk about. And maybe it felt like there was a bit more purpose back in the day, but that's not true. That's not true at all either. Because they had things they worried about. They were curious about the real world. They were curious about what was out there. They wanted to know. And they were burdened by not having enough knowledge. Too much of anything could be bad. Too many apples could be horrifying for your blood sugar. Too many carrots could be horrifying for your teeth and your enamel. It could be bad all around. And I say this without a shred of irony. I am so happy to be here. I am happy to be informed. I am happy to have all this knowledge, because now I know how to deal with it. I know how to deal with myself, but putting it into practice is the issue. I'm aware there's an issue. I know there's a big problem going on, a big fiasco. I know there's a meteor coming down and getting ready to destroy and cause a category 5,000 earthquake and make the tides come up and cause tsunamis and ruin the village, and everybody's got to wash their crops out. Oh my goodness, we got to wash the crops out. Everything's getting bad. We got to do that. We all got to come together. But nobody wants to come. Everybody is celibate. Everybody is flaccid. Nobody is feeling aroused or excited. Nobody wants to. Nobody wants to be here, because being here would inspire people, and nobody's inspired. We're just here. We're just existing ever so slightly, and as if we're all pretending that everything is fine all the time. And I used to think that people didn't know about what was going on. I used to think nobody cared, until one day I was coming in from work. My apartment manager had locked himself out of the apartment, and he asked me, "Do I live here?" I said, "Yeah, I live here." And he said, "Okay, open the door." I said, "All right, open the door." And I went to my apartment. This went on for about a month of me opening the key to my apartment manager. And he said, "Well, it's been fun, but I gotta go to a funeral." And I said, "Okay." He just told me that, some small tidbit of his life that I didn't care to know. Just some information that made me feel a little bit sad to know. And he came back and he was very happy. Maybe he got some inheritance. And I said, "Who passed away?" He said, "His son." I said, "Oh, I'm sorry your son passed away." He said, "Don't worry about it. People die every day." And he said, "Well, open the door." And I said, "Okay, I will open the door." And I opened the door, and he said, "Thanks. It's really fun talking to you every day." We barely had any conversation. I just told him one little small tidbit. He asked me how work was, and those interactions, I realized he looked forward to them. I'm pretty sure he had the key. I'm pretty sure he knew how to get inside of the apartment. He is the apartment manager. I'm pretty sure he knew all the aspects of what to do and all the gobbledygook of figuring it out. But he just wanted to have a conversation with me. And I really appreciate and I respect that, because I felt like I needed to have a conversation with him too. It was very nice. And I know it sucks knowing so much, but everybody's going through it too. You're not alone. And in that, you should feel like we are a legion and we are an army. Enjoy the fact that we are a legion and we are an army, because we matter. And that matters a lot. It sucks to have so much knowledge, but keep learning. Please. Don't become stagnant. Even if it sucks, keep going. Bye.
I'm your Nick at night, be my loyalties low. Ooh, happy to try what you need. Your world, I love to live in it. Ooh, I love the ride when you're free.